This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
A little bit about when you first met Bundy. I mean, I'm sure you worked with him in some of the territories. Did you just see him when you were with Watts, or did you also work with him some in the Bosch territory?
Oh, I worked with Chris when he came through with Watts in Mid-South in Houston. And that was the first time that I met him. And then came around when he was up in New York and I came back up there, and I got to know him a little bit better, but he was the same guy. He was just Chris Paley's, and he was, he just was a pretty normal guy from Jersey. Always super nice to me and always super cordial and friendly.
Did you ever hear about the controversy about whether or not he was or wasn't a good tipper?
I have no idea.
Bundy's going to stay active, even though he's not with the company here. He even appears in an episode of Weird Science, the TV show, as himself. You mentioned earlier he had a bit of a stint in stand-up comedy. Did you ever see any of his stage shows?
I did. And I thought he was funny as shit, because he was self-deprecating and he had great timing and a very good comedic presence. And he was a funny guy. Bundy was a smart ass, funny guy.
We should mention his debut match here. He works as under the name Chris Canyon. It's a house show loss to SD Jones in Baltimore. It's kind of fun though. Chris Canyon, somebody else from that area of the world, is going to have a very similar name one day. By 82, he's relocating to Texas. He's going to join World Class Wrestling. And this is around the time the company was changing their branding from Big Time Wrestling. And if there was a Von Erich family developed into Big Daddy Bundy after Shirley Crabtree's wrestler nickname Big Daddy, he would start as a baby face with a full head of hair. Did you ever see Bundy with a full head of hair? It's hard for me to even imagine that.
Yeah, I did. He looked like it, but I think that the reason, at least, I don't know if it's the reason they did a head shaving deal with Bundy, but when you looked at Chris, he looked like just a kid, just like a big baby with the hair. And originally they brought him into Dallas as like a country boy, and he wore the overalls and shit. And he was going to fight Fritz Von Erich and David and Kevin Von Erich. And by God, he was just a good old country boy from New Jersey that came in, and he was a part of the Von Erich clan when he first came in.
He's going to be recruited by Playboy Gary Hart and dramatically be reintroduced as King Kong Bundy, with the Big Daddy portion of his moniker replaced by the name of a cinematic monster, King Kong. He's also going to be wearing the black singlet for the first time, and this is going to sort of signify this new character change. He loses his hair during the feud, and that adds to his signature look and heel presence. How important do you think it was that Bundy go bald for his career? I mean, I know that sounds silly, but I heard an old shoot interview with Bundy once, which was kind of funny, where he was talking about how, you know, if you make your money as a body guy, it's a pain in the ass, because when they see you 20 years later and you don't look quite like you used to, well, they feel like they're getting gypped. But when you're a big fat bald slob and they see you 20 years later, still exactly as they remember.
How true that is. See, it works. I've subscribed to that theory.
But the whole bald look, it really set it off, man. They're going to have some major shows, of course, in World Class. The Fritz Von Erich retirement show was a major event. It's at the Texas Stadium on June 4th, 1982. And of course, as the name would indicate, the show marked Fritz Von Erich's retirement from in-ring competition after probably 29 or 30 years. In the main event, Fritz Von Erich is going to defeat King Kong Bundy to win the NWA American Heavyweight Championship. And of course, after the match, he would vacate it. But this is a big deal, you know, to be the chosen opponent by the promoter and the longtime babyface. You're the guy who helped retire Fritz von Erich. So he clearly had a lot of faith and confidence in Bundy, A, as an opponent, and B, as a draw for him.
Obviously so. And you know, Fritz always wanted to have the monsters to beat. Fritz was a lot like, you know, Hulk in a different way, in that Hulk always had the big, mean, nasty monsters come out of him. Fritz, in a lot of ways, did the same thing. He liked to build big, nasty heels, from the Blackjacks, Lanza and Mulligan, Brody, big guys that could come into the territory as heels, and Fritz could ultimately conquer them.
After this little brief run in World Class, he's going to compete very briefly on some NWA cards. He's a key figure in the famous build for the Christmas night 1982 Flair Carey cage match from Union Arena. Later he went to the AWA, where he used the name Boom Boom Bundy, and it was because Bruiser Brody couldn't be Bruiser Brody out of, deferring to Dick the Bruiser. So he became King Kong Brody. Well, Chris can't exactly become another King Kong. So Boom Boom Brody. This is sort of,
I wish you'd stayed Boom Boom Bundy.
Would that have been hilarious?
Boom boom. That's the listen, boom boom. When we get down Tampa, and you come on down to the Fort Hesley Armory, if you will. It's gonna be boom boom. Out goes your life when the American dream hits you with the bionic elbow, and we get all funky like a monkey, and you go boom boom, boom boom, boom boom Bundy. I like it.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.